madame.
Faut pas retirer la flèche.
Ah, ok.
M'en faut plus toucher.
So I just came from watching Family Pack. Family Pack is a new film on Netflix. It released today, as of the time I'm filming this review, which is October 23rd, 2024. The story is very simple. When an old card game comes to life, a family travels back in time and lands in a medieval village where they must unmask werewolves in order to return to their own timeline. This film has so many issues. I just gave a basic premise, but let me give you my own version of when I was watching it. This family is on vacation. It's a blended family. There are some kids from the mom's side from a previous marriage. There's some kids from the dad's side from his previous marriage. And also they have a kid who is just from the two of them, something like that. It's a blended family. There are like, I think, 3 kids. They go to visit the granddad, who is the dad's dad. And the main character, his name is Jerome. He's the dad. And the board game is sort of, when I was watching it, it reminded me a bit of Jumanji. If you watched the old school Jumanji with Robin Williams, it kind of reminds me like of that. The game activates for some reason. I don't know why it activated. It's never explained, at least to me when I was watching it. I never saw why it activated. It just activates and sends them back into the past. Now here's the thing. The thing about this film is that there are a lot of illogical things that happen, and there are a lot of illogical reactions from people. For example, when they go back in time to that medieval era, the wife pulls out a phone in front of someone. And this person does not react by asking, hey, what the hell is that? By being surprised. If you go back to 1600 and you pull out an iPhone, someone should be like, what is that? That demon device, There's this one scene where someone gets beheaded. And the main characters the blood splashes on them and they're like tasting. I'm like, what if he's sick? Why would you react like that? If you were standing at a place where people are being executed and blood splatters all over you, the last thing you should be doing is licking it and then having also, I don't know, your dad licking it. I'm like, I'm going to avoid spoilers. I'm not going to give you any major details about the story. There's this one scene where they meet a knight. And the knight hears, I think, the wife's phone, the wife character, the knight hears the wife character's phone ringing or something. And the knight just attacks. He doesn't even ask, what is that? He just attacks. Anyway, the film is supposed to be a comedy. So some people could say, some of this stuff happens because it's meant to be comedic. You can clearly tell when the film is trying to be funny versus when it's trying to be serious and relay important plot points. And a lot of stuff happens illogically, and a lot of stuff, some of the reactions are not the way you'd expect someone to react. Some of the comedy is very European, meaning that if you're from Africa like me, you might not understand some of the jokes. This movie is from France, so if you're European, the comedy will have better context if you're from Europe. A lot of the humor, let's say about 80% of the humor, is very lame. It's very lame. Like there's this one joke where this one character, I think he's the sheriff of that medieval town. He has his wife and he tells Jerome, who is the dad character, the main character, the dad character. He tells Jerome, hey, my wife should show you her buns. And Jerome is like, excuse me? And then her buns. And then the buns are down here. I'm like, what is this, like, dad joke humor they are trying to do, Each family member has their own distinct personality. At least I liked that. There's Jerome, the dad, then there's the wife, then there's the little girl, then there's the granddad, then there's the boy, I can't remember his name, and then there's a girl who's supposed to be like a modern day TikTok, YouTube streamer or something like that. Everyone has their own personality, so at least in my opinion, worked well, that the characters were distinct enough that I could tell who is who and feel like each person is their own person. The film does so many errors in how it is written. So, for example, the granddad in the opening of the film, he has like Alzheimer's or something. But when he goes back in time, when the board game transports him back in time, he gets very good memory. But even though he gets very good memory, there's a part where he says something like, I don't know where we are, I don't know when we are, And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know when we are? The night that you just approached, he told you that you're in 1700 and something. So I'm like, is it that the granddad has good memory, or is it that he's still forgetting? Contradicting dialogue. And also, the film it's based off of a fantasy board game, but the story plays out as if these guys went back in time to real history. So when I was watching, I was asking myself, is this all a fun, is this all a fictional medieval place, or is this like real history? Real history. The film sometimes, in my opinion, because the film has werewolves, are they trying to say that in real life werewolves existed and villagers saw real werewolves back in history? Like the film is trying to combine both fantasy, medieval land, and real life history. Speaking of real life history, there is a real life historical figure in this film, and they claim that this figure was gay. I don't know how true it is. They even use this alleged gay person to crack a joke when the film is coming to an end. So if you watch the film, please tell me, is that character really gay? Because that character is a real life historical figure, and he's in the film and he's portrayed as gay. It's Netflix, so expect obviously some preaching and messaging in the film. Especially there's a lot of preaching about feminism. This film feels like if you took D&D, the movie Dungeons and Dragons, and then you combined it with Monty Python. Yeah, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you combine these two. The werewolves are also weird. These werewolves only come out at night. I'm like, I thought that's supposed to be how vampires work. And then also, a person only turns into a werewolf if they hear another wolf howling. So my question is, the original wolf that howls so that others can turn, who howled so that that original wolf can turn? Are you getting my issue? If a werewolf only turns into a werewolf by hearing another wolf, so who turned the original wolf? Only the granddad character gets real character development. Only the granddad character gets real character development. He's the best character. He's the one who has like a real arc where he like moves from this type of guy to another type of guy, and he has like a 3D-ness to him. The other characters either 2D or 1D. There's this scene somewhere like 1 hour 20 minutes into the movie where they keep doing these jokes about someone getting stabbed by arrows. They keep doing it again and again and again and again, milking it over and over. The comedy was not very good in this film. Out of 10, I give it a 5. That's a lenient 5 out of 10. It's something that you can watch just to be entertained, but it's not anything that I find to be like, you must hurry and go and watch. The only consistent theme that I ever felt was present in this film was maybe misogyny. Yeah, because a lot of the women in this film are treated badly, and some of them are treated badly as a joke. It's meant to be like some sort of gag about how in the past women were beaten by their husbands. If you've enjoyed this review, make sure to smash like and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this film, especially if you're watching from France. Make sure to smash like and subscribe. I'm trying to do daily reviews. And I recently did a review for a film called Mads, which is a French horror film. You should check it out, especially if you're from France. I'll leave it here in the comments. Tell me what you thought of this film. I'll see you in the next one.